everyone, welcome to our channel Knowledge Hub. Friends, subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon for the latest update. Today we're gonna start with your cyber security class and अगर cyber security की हम बात करते हैं तो आपका cyber security का ये क्लास नंबर 2 है जिसमें हमने इससे पहले बहुत सारे टॉपिक्स को कवर अप ऑलरेडी कर लिया है। इंट्रोडक्शन जो यूनिट हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं वो यूनिट 1 डिस्कस कर रहे हैं जो कि इंट्रोडक्शन टू इन्फॉर्मेशन सिस्टम है। इससे पहले मैंने एक क्लास प्रोवाइड किया था जिसमें डिसिप्लिन प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ इन्फॉर्मेशन फील्ड, व्हाट आर इन्फॉर्मेशन फील्ड, व्हाट आर द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक, व्हाट आर द एडवांटेजेस, disadvantages, and that what related topics that we have discussed here. Now we'll discuss your introduction to the information system. Hopefully I will complete unit 1 in today's class, and that will be surely completed, and then after that in the next coming class we'll start with the unit 2 as well. So this is this class again. First of all, if अगर आप हमारे चैनल फर्स्ट टाइम देख रहे हो प्लीज़ हमारे चैनल को लाइक शेयर और सब्सक्राइब करो सो दैट ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग के पास वीडियो पहुँचे और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग इसका यूटिलाइजेशन भी कर सकें. Starting with the today's topic that we have to start with the information security. Information security जाने से पहले आपको पता होना चाहिए कि what is security. The security is the quality or the state of being the secure to be free from the danger. That is known as security. That is to be protected from adversaries, to be protected from the dangers. So that is the security here. Now we talk about the types of security. How many types of security are there, and we gone through with the detail as well. In the case of the type of security, that physical security, पहली security होती है physical security, personal security, operation security, communication security, network security and information security. ये आपके 6 types की securities होती हैं, types of securities में. In terms of the physical security, that addresses the issues necessary to protect the physical item like objects or the areas of the organization from the unauthorized access and the misuse. कोई object आपको secure करना है या like for हमारे घर के लिए हम अपने guard को रखते हैं तो that is a physical security. The personal security what we have is that addresses to the protections of the individual or the group of individual who are authorized to access the organization and its operations. So हम जैसे bodyguard रखते हैं अपने personal security के लिए, that is comes under the personal security as well. The operation security is the operation security, that protection of the detail of a particular operation or the series of activities. In communication security here, that concerned with the protection of an organization's communication media, technology and the content as well. The fifth is your network security. In the network security is the protections of networking components, connections and contents. And in the sixth one, that is information security, that information security protections of information and its critical elements including the system and the hardware that use, store or transmit the information as well. These were the 6 types of security we have. In reference to that, you have to understand what is abhi security जान लिया, what is information security, and you have to need to explain that information security. Then the protection of information and its critical element including the system and the hardware that use, store and transmit that information, that is what we can say that terms as information security, where tools such as policy, awareness, training, education and technology are necessary in terms of information security here. Now we'll discuss here the CLA triangle was the standard based on the confidentiality. CLA में जो आपका C है that is stands for the confidentiality, and that is I stands for integrity and A stands for availability. This is the triangle was the standard based on the confidentiality, availability and integrity. The CIA triangle has expanded into the list of the critical characteristics information. Now we'll discuss the value of the information comes from the characteristics possesses. The first is your availability, second is your accuracy, authenticity, confidentiality, integrity, utility and possession. These were the value of information that comes from the characteristics that it possesses. Now we'll discuss about the industry need for information security. The industry need for the information security is an organization and information security for the 4 important reasons. The first reason is to protect the organization ability to function. The second is to enable the safe operation of application of implementation onto the organization IT system. The third we have here the third one we have is to protect the data the organization collects and uses, and the fourth is to safeguard the technology asset in use of the organization here. With regard of that, now we'll discuss about the information security. Is it an art or a science here? Information security, is it an art or a science? So first we'll discuss about security as art here. With regard of the security as art, or with the level of complexity in the today's information system, the implementation of the information system has often been described as the combination of art and science, and as well as the social science, but that is rare here. In terms of the security as art here, that no hard and the fast rule, nor are these many universally accepted complete solution. So no magic user manual for that security of the entire system, and even though the complex levels of interaction between the user, policy, and the technology control. Talking about the security as a science, with regard of that, dealing with the technology designed to perform at high levels of performances, and that is a specific condition causes virtual all actions that occurs in the computer system. The third is the almost every fault, security hole, and system malfunction is a result of the interactions of specific hardware and the software as well. And if the developers had a sufficient time, they could resolve and eliminate these faults. These were the come under the security as science. Now we'll discuss about the security as a social science. Yeah, with regard of social science, the social science examines the behavior of the individual interacting with the system, and as well as that security begins the end with the people that that interact with the system, and end users may be the weakest link in the security chain as well. And the security administrator can greatly reduce the levels of risk caused by the end users and create more acceptable and supportable security profiles. Now we'll discuss about information security threats and with their examples as well. In the terms of the thread, if I'm talking about, so we have to go detail in the thread. What is thread is known as all about. The threat is an object, a person, or other entity that represent a constant danger to access, that is known as threat here. In the threat case, the management must be informed of the different threats facing the organization. By examining each threat category, management effectively protects information through policies, education, training, and technology control as well. In regard of that, we will go through a table that I had made here, that is the category of the threat, कौन सा category of threat है और उसके क्या examples, so that what we have to discuss here. So here all total 14 threats are given, and so now we'll discuss one by one. The category of the threat, the first threat we have is that is compromising to intellectual property पे compromise करते हैं. An example like piracy, copyright infringement, and that is the first type, first example. Software attacks here, and that is the second one, and the category of the threat here, the second one we have here with respect to that, that is the software attacks, and that is the example is viruses, worms, macros, denial of services. The third one is the deviations in quality of services. The examples we have is ISP, power or WAN services issues from the service provider. Fourth is your espionage or trespass. The example is unauthorized access or data collection. The fifth is the forces of nature, that is fire, flood, earthquake, lightning. And the sixth is your human error or failure, that is your accidents, employees mistakes. And the seventh is your information extortion, that is your blackmail, information disclosure. And the eighth is your missing and inadequate and incomplete, that is the loss of the access information system due to the disk in the place driver's failure without the proper backup and recovery plan, organizational policy or planning. The ninth is your missing, inadequate, incomplete, that is the network compromising because no firewall security control. The tenth is the sabotage or the vandalism, is that destructions of the system on the information, that is. And the 11th is your theft here, and that will be that illegal, that is confiscations of the equipment or the information here. The 12th, if I'm talking about the 12th threat we have, the 12th is we have is the technical hardware failure or error, and that is the equipment failure. The 13th is the technical software failure or error, that is your bugs, code problem, unknown loopholes. 14th is the technological obsolescence, and that is antiquated or outdated techniques. In regard of that, now we'll discuss about the information assurance. In the information assurance, that information assurance ensures that availability, that the resource should be available, the confidentiality, integrity, authentication, non-repudiations of origin of information. Now we'll talk about the availability here. In the case of the availability, that implies the ability to provide the authorized user with timely and the reliable access to data and information services. That is, it is characterized by the best practices such as like backup power, contiguous, like in the availability, I will just write it down here so that if you are making notes you can just write it down. Backup power. The second is, we have is your contiguous signal, and third is your off site recovery, where the availability also describes the overall goal of the security management, which is to ensure the requisite level of the trustworthiness in the day-to-day operations. And in reality, availability is a condition rather than a specific secure function. It is often a trade-off against the purely security related conditions and confidentiality. Because of availability ensures functioning, there might be a time when assuring the availability overweight procedure that are the necessary to secure information, and the judgment to sacrifice any of the other security services for the enhanced availability is risk mitigation decisions, and which is usually motivated by the threats and the vulnerabilities to the business case as well. And we are now, with regard of that, we can say that the availability is of that what I had mentioned here. Now talking about the confidentiality here, the confidentiality is the condition that ensures that the information is not disclosed to the unauthorized and the unauthorized persons, process or devices. This implies that the requirement for that such discrete function as information identification and labeling need to know procedures here. With regard of that, the third we have integrity. That integrity is that condition of assuring the trust, where with the information of the security universe, and integrity is a specific interpreted to mean that the transmission will arrive to the destination in the exactly the same form as it was sent, and that requires ensuring that logical correctness and the reliability of the operating system, the logical completeness of the hardware and the software entities, the consistency of the data and occurrence of the stored data here. And now we'll discuss about the authentication here. That is the authentication here, and authentication, that is your that authentication is a security services that is designed to establish the validity of the transmission message and originator, and it is also mean of verifying an individual authorization to receive the specific category of the information. That authentication ensures that the occurrence of the false identifiers is eliminated, and individual and organization or a computer has to be able to prove it identity to be properly secured. And this is also implies that authorization function as well. In the authorization, we can say that the next authorization that describes the system ability to regulate the access of the resource once identify it's verified here. With regard of that, now we'll discuss the next one, that is non-repudiation of the origin of information here. In the case of the non-repudiations of the origin of information, if I'm talking about here, non-repudiation of the origin provide that the sender will prove of delivery, and that it underwrites the identifier of the sender to the recipient, and as a result neither the party can later deny that the message legitimately sent and received. And non-repudiation has a ramification for everything from the purchases like eBay to modern the battlefield order. Now we'll discuss about here, that is the information insurance process. Now we'll go on through with that so that you will be getting all these things here. And with reference to that, information assurance is a multifaceted process that composed of the 15th elements and one critical capability. So each is a discrete functions, and each contributes differently to over the purposes of securing information. These 15 elements comprises known as a life cycle here, and all the 15 function with that life cycle to ensure the effective level of the security. Each element plays its a proper role at a logical place within the process. The outcome is adequate and protections of all the information assets as well. So now we'll discuss about the adequate protections. Assume that the presence of all necessary safeguards here. With regard of that, the 15 principles of information assurance, that is, each must be addressed in order for the security solution to be completed. So the first 15 principles of information assurance, we have the first principle is, that is, asset identification. In the asset identification, the form of the information resource has to be understood in order to properly secure it. Thus everything that is, a part of a resource has to be identified, labeled, and placed in the documented assets baseline. And it is also the necessary to establish a system for the controlling the change to the baseline as well. For the second one, that is the principle 2, that is the risk assessment. In the risk assessment here, risk assessment defines the form of the security responses that current operation as well as the prospective ones, and are systematic evaluated using the risk assessment. And the goal is to identify the potential that threats, vulnerabilities, weaknesses within the asset base. The third one is the principle 3, that is the security policy. In the security policy here, then the organization establishes uniform policies to guide the assurance processes, that these policies are the basis of the solution, and the outcome is the rational set of the guideline for the information assurance as well. In the terms of the principle 4, that is the infrastructure here, and according to the infrastructure, the procedural infrastructure is a tangible realizations of security policy, and the organization has to design and enforce a logical and a consistent set of the procedures here. With regard of that, these must be directly traceable to the policies they implement. The now talking about the principle 5th, that is the access control. In the case of the access control, one of the chief purposes of any security scheme is regulating the access here, and this principle specifies the need for an operational structure to enough that, and that is, it aims to grant access to legitimate users while it prevent unauthorized persons from gaining access to protected information. And the principle 6 we have here is the security of operation. And then the security of the operation, this involves the contiguous enforcement of routines, securely procedures, and at its essence, this revolves around the incidents response capability, and it also entails a procedure to prevent vital information from being using an adversary, that is called, we can say that, OPSEC here. Here we can say that sec. And for the principle 7, that is your continuity here. In the continuity, that this detail is the comprehensive strategy to ensure the business continuity, and it defines the explicit practices to ensure that the business continuity operate if the information is lost or harmed. And it is also established that the explicit disaster planning like and recovery capabilities as well. And with regard of that, principle 8 we have is the compliances. In this principle ensures that the comprehensive mechanism is in the place ensure compliances, and it guaranteed the stipulations of all the contracts and regulations obeyed, and it ensures that due diligence is exercised in meeting all requirements. Now we'll go ahead with another one, and that is your principle 9 here, that is your physical security. The physical security, if I'm talking about, the purpose of the physical security is to control the tangible information and assets, and establish an assets management process and the realistic physical protection schemes, even though it involves the standard operating practices to ensure the integrity of the workspace and physical resources with a secure boundary. With regard of that, the principle 10, that is the personal security. In the terms of the personal security, this involves the comprehensive procedure to assure worker compliances with the security policies, and it is based on the employee screening and the assignments of the roles and responsibilities. It also monitors the security activities of all the employee. We are now will talking about the principle 11th here, and that is the principle 11th is your process security. In terms of process security, that this focuses on the development life cycle, and it contains the method to ensure the security is embedded in all the development work as well, and it makes certain that the security functionality is baked into all a product during the development. Now talking about the secure principle 12, that is your network security here. In the network security, we can say that this issues the network access to the electronic asset, and it established both network access control as well as the network monitoring as well. Now talking about the principle 13 here as well. 13 principle we have is your software assurance. In the software assurance, but in the network security, this is the classic purpose of the information assurance also, and it totally defines the user authentication, authorizes and the control access, and it also includes the elements necessary to ensure the development of the secure network architecture. In the principle 13, that is the software assurance here, in regard of that, this principle ensures the continuing the integrity of all the applications and the system software. That includes installing the software and also analyzing the reporting on its performances, and it ensures the secure operation of all the software within the operational environment and the resolutions of the anomalies and conflicts as well. In regard of the principle, that is your principle 14 here, and that is the principle 14 is security disciplines. Security disciplines here, the disciplines is human centered. It ensures that the policy and the procedures are understood and adhered to in a disciplined way. And with regard of that, its purpose is to establish the awareness and the motivation and enforce the discipline as well. In regard of next, that we have principle 15, and that is your ethics here. In 15th principle, that is ethics, this principle delineates a comprehensive code of the defined, that is ethical practice as well. And in the ethics here, that this code accurately reflects the community norms with respect to the behavior, and it serves as a basics for the rules and the conduct as well as the personal accountability as well. Now we'll discuss about some of the things, that is the critical supporting process, that is we can say that the cryptology. Cryptology क्या होता है basically, what the message you have to send, you are just coded that message, and जिसको आप भेज रहे हो सिर्फ उसको पता है कि उस coded message को कैसे decode करना है, and that is known as the cryptology. And cryptology is a subject of engineering as well. I think hope you had learned, you have gone through with that. अगर नहीं तो you can just comment on the comment section. I will be giving you that also. So in that, the critical supporting process cryptology. Cryptology is not a principle as much as it is a basis of the secure message transfer. एक कोडेड वर्ल्ड में कि मैंने आपको बता दिया कि दैट वेब डिज़ाइन कब का लेक्चर ये तब आएगा, तो मैंने आपको उसको कोड बता दिया कि ये अगर मैं बोलूँ तो इसका मतलब है कि मैं वेब डिज़ाइन के सब्जेक्ट के बारे में बात कर रही हूँ, तो उसके अकॉर्डिंगली आप मैंने आपको भेज दिया, तो आपको पता चल जाएगा कि वो मैं वेब डिज़ाइन सब्जेक्ट की बात कर रही हूँ, बट और किसी और को नहीं पता होगा क्योंकि वो आपको ही सिर्फ डिकोड करना आता है कोड। ये आपका क्रिप्टोलॉजी होता है. It is necessary foundation requirement to secure the electronic transmission. It is very large topic area, and because of its as includes so many technical aspects as well. Cryptology is not the principle as much as it is the basis for the message transfer, that as I told you. And with regard of that, we can say that in this that it is entails the technical requirements for translating the that plain text encrypted transmission, and it is also dictates the encryption method and the key structure that are used for that process here. Now we'll discuss about the applications of the principles here. And the applications of the principles, the first application we have is each principle act to secure the specific aspect that it is meant to assure. The second is this structure has a life cycle orientation. Third application of the principle is that all information assurance processes embody and establish collection, and the four established collection common components. With regard of that, if I'm talking about here that the integrated set forms of mutually supporting the system and provides the desired level of assurance as well. And in regard of that, we can say that which are designed to work together to produce the optimum solution. The overall solution can be understood in terms of those components, that their logical interaction, and moreover they are also represent as implicit structure for the process as well. Now we deal with the next topic, and that we have to discuss, that is the differentiate between information system and information assurance. In terms of information system that is represented by IS is a set of the international interrelated element, that is first is your collect, that is input, manipulate, that is process, store, disseminate, that's output data and information here, that provides a corrective reaction, that is a feedback mechanism to meet an objective. As you can see that in input it goes to the process, and then after the process it gives the output, and after the output it will be given feedback towards it to the processing as well as the input here. In the terms of input, if I'm talking about here, that activity of gathering and capturing the raw data, that is known as input. For processing, that converting the data into the useful output, that is processing. And the output, that is the productions of useful information, usually in the form of the documents and reports. And the feedback, that is your information from the system that is used to make the changes to input or processing activities. This that is known as feedback here. Now we'll move ahead with another one, and that is your information assurance, that we've gone through with detail here. Information assurance here, in terms of information assurance, that information assurance measures that protect and define information and information system by ensuring their availability, integrity, authentication, confidentiality, and non-repudiance. With this include providing for the restoration of the information by incorporating the protection and as well as detection and the reaction capabilities. So the three we have is your protect, detect, and react. In protect, that provides the availability, integrity, authenticity, confidentiality, and non-repudiation of information and transaction. And in detect, that provides the ability to detect effort to disrupt and deny services. Further react, that provides for the reconstitutions of informations and services in the case of the successful disruptions and denial. Whereas we can see that for the availability here, and for that, where availability is that information and the information system that are available when needed to support mission critical and mission support and administrative purpose as well. In terms of the integrity, if I'm talking about here, integrity, that data is unchanged from its source, has not been accident and malicious altered. In the case of the authentication, that data and their originators are authentic and the recipient is eligible to receive the specific category of information. For the non-repetition here, non-repetition and the strong and the substantial evidences of the information exchange or the transactions. Confidentiality, that is information can be read only by the authorized, that is what we can say, that is the encryption here. Okay, this is known as encryption as well. In regard of that, we will discuss cyber security and the risk analysis now. And in the terms of the cyber security, as you can see here, in the terms of the cyber security, first you have to know what is cyber security. The security traditionally has been about CIA, that is confidentiality, integrity, and the availability. Security now also include that area of trustworthiness, quality, and as well as private, like that is your dependency ability, includes security, reliability, and the fault tolerance. And initially the term used for the computer security, that is the CompuC, and that computer ka compute, and that security ka sec, and that is it involves into the infosec and information security to include that data network, and now with that web, it is known as the cyber security here. With regard of the cyber security strategies, so there are four strategies, as you can see: security policy, compliances and assurance, that is legal framework; security incidents, early warning and responses; capability building; and of course capacity building; and then setting up the digital forensic centers. Okay, so in this that said, security policies and compliances and assurance, that is legal framework here, that is the in that you can say that that is the IT Act 2000, and that IT amendments, that is your bill 2006, and that is data protection and the data computer crime. And best practices, that is your ISO 27001, that is 27001. And the security assurance framework that is used here, and that is your IT slash ITES, that's BPO companies. Now for the security incidents, early warning and responses here, that is your CERT, and that is in a national cyber alert system, and that is your information exchange with international certs, and that is has been done in the security incidents early warning and responses here. In regard of the capacity building, and that capacity building may that concludes with the skills and the competitiveness in development, that is training of the law enforcement agencies and the judicial officials in the collections and analysis of the digital evidence, and the training in the area of the implementation information security, and in the collaboration with a specified organization in the US, that is comes under the capability capacity building. Now talking about the setting up the digital forensics centers. Here the domain specific training, that is the cyber forensics, and the first is your research and development. Here that is network monitoring. We can say that network monitoring or biometric authentication and network security as well. In the terms of international collaboration, this is another one here. Now we'll discuss the cyber security infrastructure here, and that we have to discuss. So here with cyber security infrastructure, in the term cyber security infrastructure includes that equipment that is integral to the research and education capabilities in the cyber security, including but not limited to, that is the first we have is the encryption devices. The second is network switches. Third is routers, firewalls, wireless networking gears, protocol analyzers, file servers, workstations, biometric tools, and the computer as well. These were the 10 cybersecurity infrastructures that has been used here. Okay, so these were the 10 that we have, and the technology support staff that is integral or research of the education capabilities in the cybersecurity as well. Now we'll discuss about the security risk analysis. As you can see, security risk analysis here. In the security risk analysis, that raises likelihood that some thing bad will happen to that cause to an informational assets or the loss of the assets. Vulnerability weakness that could be used to the endanger and cause harm and information asset. And a threat is anything that man made or an act of natural but has a potential to cause harm. In the risk that security risk analysis, if I'm talking about that, the likelihood that the threat will use the vulnerability to use harm or risk, and then when a threat does not vulnerable to inflict harm, and it is impact in the context of the information security, the impact of the loss of the availability, integrity, and the confidentiality, and the possibility that all the losses, other losses as like income, a loss of life, loss of real property, and it should be pointed and it is not possible to identify all the risks, nor is it possible to eliminate risk. The remaining risk is called that residual risk here. In the risk here, the risk assessment is carried out by a team of people who have knowledge of specific areas of the business. Membership of the team may vary over time, and in the different parts of the business are assessed. With regard of this, the assessment may use a subjective qualities analysis that is based on the opinion, that is scenario, and or which reliable data figures, that historical information is available, and the analysis may be quantity analysis as well. For any queries, if I'm talking about, so for any given risk, that execution management can be choose to accept, that is based upon the relative low value of the asset, and that the relative low frequency of the occurrence, and relative low impact on the business or leadership may choose the mitigate the risk of the selecting and the implementation appropriate control measures to reduce the risk. And in the some cases, they can be transferred to the another business by buying the installation or outsourcing to the another business as well. In regard of that, we can say that the identification of the assets and the estimating their values include was like people, building, hardware, software, data supplies, and conduct a threat assessment include like act of nature, accident, malicious act, and originating from the inside and outside the organization, and conduct the vulnerability assessment, and for each vulnerable that calculate the probability that it will be exploited, and even though evaluate the policies, procedures, standards, and training physical securities as well. Here, with regard of that, they calculate the impact that each threat would have on each assets, and the qualitative analysis or the quantitative analysis as well. In regard of that, if I'm talking about here with the reference to this, there this capacity build we had talked about here, and that is identify the select and implement the appropriate control that provide a professional responses that consider the productivity of the cost effectiveness of the values of the assets as well, and to evaluate that effectiveness of that control measures that ensures the control provide the required cost that is effective protections without the discernible loss of the productivity here. With regard of that, we'll go ahead with the step one, that is estimate potential loss. In that, the SLE stands for that is AV dollar multiply EF, that is percent may. SLE is stands for full form single loss expectancy, and that AV stands for asset value. EF stands for the exposure factor, that is percentage of the asset value as well. In the step 2, if I'm talking about here, in the step 2, that is the conduct a threat likelihood analysis. ARO, that is annual rate of occurrence, and the number of the time per year that is incident is likely to occur here. This is the step 2. Now we'll discuss about the step 3, that we have to calculate ALE here. But before that, when you have to find out the SLE, that is equals to AV, that is in the dollar, multiply EF, and that you can find out the SLE here. For the ARO, you can just find it out here. That is the number of the times per year that the incident has to be likely to occur. In the step 3, we have स्टेप 3 is to calculate ALE, and ALE का full form होता है that is annual loss expectancy. ALE का that you can find out as SLE multiply ARO here. With regard of that, we have another point, and that is your cyber bullies or predators will discussed here in this class only. And as I told you, we'll end up with this only in this class only, the unit 1 here, that is introduction to information system here. Cyberbullying, that cyberbullying is a set of the using the internet, cell phones, video games, or other technologies gadgets to send text or post image intend to hurt and embarrass another person. It is also defined as the act of aggression through the computers, cell phones, and other electronic devices. The most famous examples is harassment, stalking, rumor spreading, disclosure, sharing of personal information to the other without the consent, exclusion of that is ostracism, that is your heated exchanges, and defaming, the belittling and mocking, and of course the imprimacy. So implementing, that is the effects of the cyberbullying. If I'm talking about here, in the effects of the cyberbullying, that cell phones and the computer themselves are not to be blamed for cyberbullying. Social media sites can be used for the positive activities and connecting the kids with the friends and the family, helping student with the school and environment. But these are the tools that also can be hurt other people, and whatever done in persons or through technology, the effects of the bullying are, students, kids who are cyberbullying are mostly like to be like use of alcohol and drugs, that skip alcohol experiences in a person's bullying, and by be unwilling to attend the school, receive poor grades, have a lower self-esteem, and have more health problems as well. With a predator, if I'm talking about here, for the what is cyber predator. In the cyber predator, the predator are the people who commit child sexual abuse, and that begins or taken a place on the internet here. In regard of that, we can say that a cyber predator use the internet to hurt, for the victims, to the advantage of any way, and including the sexually, emotionally, psychologically, and financially. And the cyber predators know how to manipulate children, creating trust and friendship where none should exist. And with the fact says like 73%, if I'm talking about the 73%, that of the child who has offline sexual encounters with the offenders, so more than the ones. And online predators tends to fall between the age of 18 to 55 here, and the target stands to between the ages of 11 to 15, and that teens are willing to meet with the strangers, that is like 16% of 16% of, if I'm talking about 16% of teens considering the meeting someone's they have only talked to online, and 8% have actually met someone they only knew online. So few common characteristics on the traits that may be helpful to identify an online predator, like appears trusting at first and may pretend to share common interests with the targeted victims, like with more than likely engage is as many activities with children as possible, and that will often look for the children who are emotionally vulnerable, and may pretend to be someone he or she is not, in order to make take advantages of the children. So will be a good very good at internet lingo to help up the queers young victims, and as well as will become a more provocative as he or she feels the victim is beginning to trust you. With regard of that, we'll end up with this first unit, that is introduction to information system. As I told you in the last class, that what we had discussed as our class first year, as I told you that we'll discuss in the cyber security we have 4 unit only, and for the in unit 1 that we have to discuss the introduction to the information system, types of information system, development of the information system, introduction to the information system, need for information security, threats of the information system, information assurance, cyber security, and the security risk analysis. That what we had discussed in the next in this class, and we end up with unit 1 as well. The next coming class will start with the unit 2, and that is the application security, that is database, email and the internet, data security consideration, backups, archive, that is the archival storage and the disposals of data, security technologies, firewalls and VPNs, intrusions detections, access control, even though security threats, that is viruses, worms, trojan horse, bombs, trap doors, spoofs, emails, viruses, macroviruses, malicious software, network and denial of the services attack, security threats to e-commerce, electronic payment system, e-cash, credit, debit card and digital signature, public key cryptology as well. In the unit third, we'll discussing about the developing secure information system, application development, security, information security governance, and the risk management, security architectures and the design, and as well as the security issues in the hardware, data storage, and the downloadable devices, that physical security of the IT sets and access control, CCTV, and the intrusion detection system, backup security measures as well. In the unit 4, that security policies, that why policies should be developed, www policies, email security policies, policy review process, that is corporate policies, sample security policies, publishing and noticeable notification requirements of the policies, information security standards like ISO, IT Act and Copyright Act, Patent Act, IPR, cyber laws in the India, and IT Act 2000, that is act provisions, intellectual property law, copyright law, software license, semiconductor law and the patent law here. So that what we'll discuss in the next coming classes. So hopefully you had enjoyed the video and you will get the information regarding this. So class aaj ke liye itna hi. Thank you, hope you enjoy this video. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and give a suggestion on a comment box. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel so that many and maximum people can get the information at once, and even though you can also enjoy the video as well. Thank you.